Today I want to talk to you about 3 reasons why a Generation Xer like myself should create an estate plan. My name is Leon Jones Jr., and I'm a business and estate planning attorney who focuses on helping individuals, families, and businesses protect the assets that they've built. So like I said, why should a Generation Xer create an estate plan? I have 3 reasons why I believe that is to be true. Number 1, as a Generation X, we're getting older. I'm 50. We have some Generation Xers who are close to 60 and some who are in their 40s. And so we're at that age and at that point in our lives where we've had our careers for over 10 or 15, 20 years. We have started to accumulate some assets. We have our opportunities that we may have built businesses, that we have rental properties. We have things that we've done over the last 20 to 25 to 30 years. And now it's time to start thinking about protecting those assets. And like I said, what are those assets? You know, you could have a stamp collection, you could have a car collection, and you can have rental property. You can have your 401k, whatever the case may be. There are assets that you've accumulated over the last 20 to 30 years. It's time for you to start to protect them. And so as a Generation Xer, we are in that unique position where, you know, we're no longer tied to our parents, the baby boomers who have raised us and helped get us educated and put us out there into the world to work. And we're also raising our millennials and Gen Zers and iGen. And so we're in that mix to where it's time for us to start thinking about estate planning. And what does estate planning mean? It means creating a will. It means creating possibly a trust. It means leaving instructions for when you become incapacitated, if you become incapacitated, leaving instructions for your untimely death. And so making sure that those things are put in place. So that's number 1. We're getting older. We're not getting any younger. We're in our, like I said, we're in our 40s, our 50s, our 60s. And so now it's time for us to start thinking about that. Number 2, we have children and we have grandchildren. You know, I have 4. I'm sure others who are listening to this have children and grandchildren. And so it's time for us to start thinking about that next generation. But not only that, have to think about our parents as well. You know, my parents are getting older. Our parents are getting older. We're in that generation where we're stuck between 2 generations. We're stuck between the baby boomers that have raised us, and we're stuck between the millennials and the Gen X, Gen Zers, and the iGens that we're raising. And they could be children and grandchildren. You know, again, many of my friends they're starting to experience their children having children. And so we're in that space where we know that we're not old, we're still young, but we're in a space to where we're having to take care of our older parents while also looking out for our young children. And so how do we do that? We protect them, we leave instructions, and leaving instructions equates to protection. And so what does that look like again? Insurance products that can leave the designated beneficiary, making sure that we have bank accounts and funds set up to where if we want to educate our children, we can do so. All those things tie into your estate plan, because if you are incapacitated prematurely or if you die prematurely, you want to make sure that your wishes are carried out. And those wishes can only be carried out if you have a plan in place. And so that's number 2. And then number 3, charitable giving. You know, the university that I went to, that I love going back to for football games and for homecomings and making sure that I keep contact with them, that's a legacy for me. My son just graduated from the university where I went to school. And so that's a legacy that I want to continue to maintain. And that's just one component of that. But what about your religious institutions? You may want to leave a legacy, or you may want to leave an endowment for your religious institution. Or in that charitable giving, there may be a 501c3 nonprofit organization that you want to leave something behind to. Those organizations rely upon the generosity of its donors. And you, as a Gen Xer, are now in that position to where you can be a donor and you can leave that legacy. And so it doesn't matter whether it's money, whether it's assets, because again, you could have accumulated some property around the university where you went to school and you want to donate that property upon your death. How do you do that? How do you set that up? How do you make sure that the university utilizes the assets and the funds that you leave behind in order for the next generation to take advantage of it? Well, you do that through estate planning. And I know that again, I'm 50. An estate plan, something I never really thought about before I became an attorney. And so now it's a situation where we need to start thinking about those things. You know, it's unfortunate that my parents' friends, they're starting to become ill because they're getting older and they're starting to pass away. And so their friends, who their children are my friends, they're calling me and asking me, hey, can I get some assistance on setting up something for my parents, setting up a power of attorney, setting up a healthcare directive, making sure that they have a will, a trust, making sure that their beneficiaries are in line, making sure all those things are taken care of. And so as a Gen Xer, we have an awesome responsibility right now at this time that we can take care of the older generation and look after the generation coming behind us. So let's do that. Let's make sure that we do those three things. Number one, realize that we're getting older and not discount it. Number two, take care of our parents and our children and possibly grandchildren. And then number three, make sure that we can take care and leave a legacy for our institutions that we care about, whether it's university, whether it's churches, whether it's other nonprofits, making sure that we're doing those things that can leave that legacy that we're looking to leave. Again, this is Leon Jones Jr. I appreciate you taking time to listen to me. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want to learn more about the things that I do and continue to follow me and learn about the different areas of estate planning, please click the subscribe button. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel to learn more. There are going to be more videos coming forward in the next coming days, weeks, and months. And so I look forward to educating you. I look forward to working with you. If you are in need of an attorney right now and you have a question about something, click the button below, book a time, let's talk. Let me get to know you. Let me get to know your family. Let me get to know more about your business so that I can help you put a plan in place to protect your assets.